Welcome back. It's time to bring in our panel right now as we look back at 2024 with Robin Winston, Tony Samuel, Laura Wilson, Terry Austin, and Mike Murphy with us today. This was the year that seemed to have so many moments that changed everything. And Laura, I'll start here with you there in the middle. What was the moment that stood out the most to you?
You know, I think if we're talking on the national level, that first presidential debate. Unfortunately for Biden, he had a long political career, so many highlights and moments, but this last year, a lot of negatives. And I think that debate marked obviously the end of his presidential campaign. It also brought up a lot of questions and conversations in terms of the direction of the Democratic Party and for Donald Trump leading the Republicans, what it was going to look like. So that's one of the highlights, I think. One of those moments when we think back to 2024 that will stick out in my mind.
A game-changing moment for sure. Tony, it turned out to be a very big year for Republicans and obviously for the former president as well.
Yeah, I think the moment that sticks out and made the most impact was when the first assassination attempt, when President Trump was hit in the ear and went down and then rose up and said, "Fight, fight, fight." That stuck with everybody, and I think people that generally maybe were in between where they'd vote, they realize they've got to vote for this guy because of what he means for the country and what he's going to do for the country. On the state level, I think the Micah Beckwith selection by the delegates in the state convention, that sent shockwaves through the political establishment. But I think that's kind of the biggest moment in Indiana politics.
So, Robin, where did things go wrong for Democrats, and what were the moments that stood out to you?
Well, I think we strayed away from kitchen table issues. We should have stayed more on things that matter to people at their kitchen table. What stands out to me is that we had an election that no one accused anyone of fraud after it was over with. So the democracy that we carry so much about was able to be resilient and withstand.
Mike, what's the moment that stood out to you?
Well, too, on the national level, the absolute collapse of the Democratic Party and their loss to one of the worst presidents in American history. I don't know how they lost it, but they managed to manage their way into a loss. Here in the state of Indiana, it had to be Jim Banks, who goes from being a state senator to a congressman to a U.S. senator with virtually no opposition. I mean, he might as well wear a crown on his head the whole time.
Terry, any other game-changing moments from this past year in your mind as you look back at 2024?
I think the Republican gubernatorial primary. There was a seven-way contest. And I mean, what was it, $40 million that was
so
spent?
Much money in that race.
And in the end, it wasn't even close. Really wasn't even close.
Mike Braun winning that primary, going on to become our next governor. Laura, how will this past election year, we mentioned some of those game-changing moments, but how will this year end up going down in history?
Well, this marks the first election since COVID in terms of presidential, and we saw a dip, at least in Indiana, in terms of voter turnout. So from my perspective, it's not just the wins, obviously a great year for Republican candidates on the whole, but looking in terms of voter turnout and political apathy, it looked like we were returning back to what we had before 2020, which was Americans not caring as much about politics, Americans not showing up to the polls. 2020 may have been a blip on the radar, we'll have to see, but I think in terms of political engagement, despite the fact that we would say there were a lot of really important moments in American history right now, people just didn't seem to pay or care quite as much attention about them.
And Robin, how does that set the stage as we move into 2025, a new year, a new administration, Congress in another one of those shutdown standoffs at the end of the year, and certainly a lot of things to look ahead to and wonder how it's all going to work?
Well, I think one of the areas that I always talk about in campaigns are mechanics. And everything changed in 2024. People now are getting their news rapidly. And they're not getting it, they're getting it from you, putting it on their TV, but they're probably getting it from their device looking at what was on previously. They may not watch live, but they may watch subsequently to that. You've got to reach people where they are. It's got to be, you know, people made fun about going on the Joe Rogan show, but you got to do that. You've got to take your message to where people are. People are demonstrating more and more that they're tuned out on the traditional ways. That's why your show is so innovative, because people can look at it here and then go online and look at it later.
Is that one of the ways this election goes down in history in terms of messaging, the way candidates are doing things differently, the way they're getting their messages out now?
Yeah, absolutely. You had to be everywhere and do it, you know, in any way that was going to reach some people. And Trump proved that he was willing to do that, and that, you know, had the effect that it did. And, you know, the other thing about Trump, there's that saying, when you're going through hell, keep going. That's what he did, and he showed the American people just how much confidence and what his political instincts have meant, and you know, they responded by giving him the win. On the state level, what's interesting is you had a state that's running well, but now you've got a business guy who is putting together a new structure and a cabinet, a new type of cabinet, and that's going to be innovative and, like he says, entrepreneurial, and we're going to see great things from him as well.
Terry, I think if you look back at our show from last year, as we looked ahead to the new year, there might be some things at the state level that didn't surprise us maybe, but an awful lot of things at the national level that we probably never saw coming.
Well, I think the stepping aside of President Biden and Kamala Harris taking the nomination, but how quickly her campaign was able to come together and pivot, that whole operation of pivoting to a new candidate, a different message. In the end, it still wasn't successful, but it was, and the energy that was produced by that change.
Mike, how does all of this set the stage here for the new year in 2025 in your view?
Well, the state, first of all, there's no state elections in 2025.
Right.
And so you look at the legislative session.
It's all about governing now.
It's all about governing, and we'll look to see how quickly and how well Governor-elect Braun, then Governor Braun, will be able to accomplish his agenda. I think he's in good line with the legislature. He's got his cabinet picks, just named his last one a few days ago. And you know, I don't care if it's Mitch Daniels, Mike Pence, Eric Holcomb, everybody makes mistakes their first few months. And the goal is to minimize your mistakes and come out of the session in good shape.
Laura, I'll give you the last word here. What are you looking ahead to? What are you watching closely as this new year begins with a new administration here in Indiana and in Washington, D.C.?
Yeah, well, especially at the state level, we're talking about that $44.5 billion budget, and we will have a new governor. We have
a budget year at the State House?
It is. It's a budgeting year. We know that healthcare is really important. We have school safety, public safety is important to Hoosiers as well. So I think being able to prioritize some of those issues and seeing what new leadership brings to the table, that relationship there. Same thing at the federal level, though, quite frankly. We still have budgeting woes and concerns. So seeing how lawmakers post-election, it's all about the governing, how they're able to address this.
We'll see what happens in the new year. We know this. We appreciate all of you being here to talk about everything that happened this past year on this week's show and all throughout 2024. We thank you so much. All right, coming up next, it was a year full of big events in Indiana, from the All-Star Game to the Olympic trials. We'll take another look back at the impact here on our state coming up after this.